Konnichiwa everyone, I'm back. This is my fourth Japan vlog entry. I guess it's been 2 weeks since my last one. Haven't done any all-night partying in the last 2 weeks, so slowed down a little bit, but I have kept myself busy. So here's a recap of what's been going on. I was actually looking for a day trip 2 weekends ago, and I was invited to this Facebook group called Gaijin Assemble, and if you don't know what Gaijin means, basically it means foreigner. So it's a group where all of us people at the base who aren't native Japanese people just post events or information about things that are going on. And it's definitely a tight-knit community here, more so than it was back in the States with the Air Force, just because you're overseas and you're away from home. So people look to make friends through other ways than you normally would. But anyway, somebody on the group posted that they were going to go down to Kamakura to go see the great Buddha statue, and I didn't have any plans, so I just said, yeah, I'll come along. So here's some pictures from that trip. Here's me standing outside the torii, which is the big red gate, and those will basically tell you that there is a Shinto shrine if you walk along the path where the torii leads to. So that's the entrance to one of the Shinto shrines in Kamakura. I've zoomed in on the torii a little bit so you can actually see in the far distance that's actually the shrine. So we just walked the path and went all there. So I have pictures from up close. Here's a close-up of one of the statues that was next to the torii. There's lots of cool stuff just right around the shrine. I don't really know what this is, but it's cool looking. This is a trinket stand that was on the way to the shrine. There is no lack of cute stuff in Japan, or kawaii, that means cute in Japanese. This is a mini temple thing right before the actual shrine, and there was actually a wedding going on in this at the time. We didn't really know what was going on, and then you saw like flute players, and then you could see the bride and the groom, and I have a picture of them in a second. And here are the bride and the groom. The bride's dress is white like traditional in the US, but obviously you can see the actual style is very different, especially for the guys dressed too. And most of the people in this area, well, a lot of them were in kimonos. I guess this is people get dressed up to go pray at the shrine. Honestly, I don't know how fun it was for them to get married there. The bride looked bewildered a lot of time because there are just people that you don't know everywhere, and they're all just staring at you while your wedding is going on, and I think it would be uncomfortable. I wouldn't want to do it that way, but I guess this is kind of a holy place to get married, so people do it there. There was 2 weddings there while we were there. This is the staircase leading up to the actual shrine. You can see lots of people there. It was really busy. I don't know if it's like that all the time. This was on a Sunday morning. Lots of people. Here's a view from the top of the steps of the shrine down to the place where the wedding was happening. They wouldn't let me take any pictures actually inside the shrine because it's a holy place and they don't let you take pictures. But basically when you go in there, you will see this center, there's a center area where all the people will pray, and then they will throw coins into, it's kind of like a well, I guess. I couldn't really see it, but basically a well where you put money in there to have your prayers come true. And people would actually write them on these boards. They would write out what their prayer was, and then they could hang them in the shrine. After the shrine, we just walked around for a little bit and saw this badass bird of prey. Not sure exactly what kind it is, but if you were a big Animorphs fan like me, I'm just going to imagine it was Tobias from Animorphs. And I'm a huge nerd for saying that right now, but whatevs. Here's a cool looking tree. I also don't know what kind of tree this is, but definitely don't have these back home. And before we left the shrine, I had to get my picture in with the peace sign. If you walk around touristy areas in Japan, you'll notice that all of the Japanese people, when they take pictures in front of the touristy stuff, they like to give peace signs. Don't know why, but trying to fit in, so peace out. All the walking made us hungry, so we went for lunch at a sushi place. I was able to get this delectable plate of sushi. and soup for 980 yen, only about $9.80. Booyah! After lunch, we took a bus to the Great Buddha statue, and there was this gift shop right next to the statue that we went into and looked around. Now, the sumo statues caught my eye. They're just freaking hilarious. If they were less money, I would have bought the set, but 2,000 yen a piece is a little too steep. Other things you'll see in stores around here are weapons. There are crazy weapons on every place you go. Battle axes, gigantic swords. It's like stuff out of Final Fantasy. So, cool stuff if you're into that. I don't know what you would do with it, honestly, if you bought them. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with like a 6-foot long sword, but they're really cool to look at. And here's the Great Buddha statue. They gave me a little information about it. They totally racially profiled me and gave me my information in English. Can you believe that? Anyway, that's a good thing. I wouldn't have been able to read it in Japanese, so here's the little info that I did get about it. The Buddha is commonly known as Kamakura Daibutsu, and it's the principal deity of the Kotokuin Temple. Construction of the statue went from 1252 to 1262, so really old. And the priest that wanted this built got donations from the local community to fund the construction of the Buddha. It's 13.4 meters tall, which is about 44 feet, and it weighs 121 tons. We paid 20 yen to actually go inside the Buddha, but there's really nothing to see in there. You're basically just paying 20 yen to be super claustrophobic in the small passageway that leads inside. So that was my trip to Kamakura. It's the only really big thing I did over the past 2 weeks, though I did a lot of other small fun things. For example, there's this really awesome indoor rock climbing place that is pretty close to the base. So I went with a few friends and got to rock climb for the first time since college, so that was fun. Another good experience I had was at this restaurant called Sushi Row, and it's an automated restaurant, so there's no waiters or waitresses. Basically, sushi goes around a conveyor belt, and I have a video which shows you the restaurant. It's awesome. Here at Sushi Row, you can see there's a sushi conveyor belt that just goes around. You can just grab any plate that you want. If it doesn't specify otherwise, it's 100 yen. The yellow plates mean they have wasabi on it already, otherwise it doesn't.
100 yen means $1.
Yeah, about $1. If you want to order whatever you want, you can just click on the screen and you put your order in, hit order, and your table actually has a color coding. So you can see the green there, we're the green table, and when your plate comes around, it'll actually beep at you to let you know to take your food. I have one on the way, I don't know where it's at yet. I ordered a beef dish, it should be here very soon.
Here.
Oh, here, it's chiming to let me know that my dish will be here any second. I can see it coming. And the ones that are ordered are on these special red plates that have your table, so because it has that green thing on it, I know this one's mine. Yummy. And then you can see here, I've got a stack of plates. This is going to be my last plate, this is my 8th one. But to actually pay, they'll just stack up your plates next to a pay chart and you'll pay 100 yen per plate. Or if you got any special ones, they'll look at those too. My funny story of the week is actually a conquest over something that was annoying the crap out of me. So my house, the faucets are opposite of pretty much every other place I've ever used a sink. At home, when you want to turn the water on, you push the faucet up, and when you want to turn it off, you push it down. And on base, it's that way. And as far as I can remember from all the places I've been in Japan, it's that way too. I could be wrong, but anyway, my house, it's the opposite. So the first couple weeks I was here, this is me at the sink. I would push the faucet up and nothing would happen. I'd be like, why isn't it working? And I'd be like, oh, I gotta go the other direction. I push it down. And then you wash your hands or you brush your teeth or do whatever you're doing, and in that 20 seconds, you kind of forget that it was the opposite because it's just habit. You've used the sink forever. And then so when I want to turn it off, my habit is to just slam it down. And every time I slam the faucet down, the water comes out super hard and it sprays everywhere. And it actually got my clothes drenched a couple times and really annoying. So this week was the first full week I think I made it without absolutely spraying myself with water for putting the faucet in the wrong direction. So go me! Woo! Anyway, that's my funny story and conquest of the week. I'm going to leave you with one last picture. I went for a bike ride this morning, and it was actually a clear day, and I could see Mount Fuji on my way home, which is pretty awesome. So here's that picture. Mount Fuji's there in the background, snow-capped. I think the only time you can actually hike it is in July and August when it's actually warm enough and the snow's melted enough for people to go up to the top. So that's my plan, is this upcoming summer to go up Mount Fuji. Oh yeah, one more thing. As some of you might have seen on Facebook, my goal is to learn 2,000 kanji in 90 days. I'm on day 5 right now. I got this book called Remembering the Kanji, and I'm going through that book, and it has a really good method for teaching you kanji in a way that you will actually remember it. And I've got 201 symbols down in 5 days. And I can already hear some of you saying, like, there's no way that you could learn 201 symbols in 5 days. That's bullshit. He might have said he learned them, but he didn't actually learn them. And I will tell you that I actually have probably retain over 90% of those 200 symbols in the 5 days, just because of the way this book teaches you. And I'm using this computer flashcard program called Anki, where basically it quizzes you on the symbols and you tell the program how well you know them. And based off of that, it'll show you the cards for those symbols in whatever frequency. If you don't know it, it'll show it to you every minute. If you do know it, 10 minutes, 1 day, and you just constantly keep reviewing the cards to make sure it's in your long-term memory. So I am 1/10 of my way to my goal, and I'm actually going faster than my pace of 90 days. So I expect it to get harder as the symbols get more complex, but I am very happy with my progress so far, and we'll see how it goes. And that's all for this entry, guys. I will see you later. Sayonara.